You could win a chance to debate Stephen A. and Max right here on national television. We are going to pick two winners and fly you to ESPN headquarters in Bristol, Connecticut. All you got to do, go to firsttakeyourtake.com. Be sure to read and follow all the rules for your chance to win. Then upload a 1-minute video with your best original sports debate. People, please keep it clean. Plus no music, trademarks, copyrighted material. And we just want you to be yourself on camera impressing us. Winners will be announced November 23rd by our show staff. So get busy, work on those. And we hope to see you here on the debate desk taking on these two.
We're gonna be playing their video at the bottom, last segment of each hour. We're going to show two every day. We're going to pick winners every day. And then the finalists, you know, they're going to roll up in there. Apparently, you know, Lil Wayne, cats think they can come at us. And, you know, I got to shut them down once and for all. I mean, they brought it on themselves. I try to be nice. You know that. I try to be nice. But they brought it on themselves. They asked for it. So they want to come on national TV and get embarrassed. Okay.
You know what it's like. Everyone wants to be a rapper, right? Coming up, trying to battle you. How long has that been going on?
They never tried to battle me.
What, you got any tips for these people? Taking on these two?
Just know what you're doing and know what you're talking about. Because once you stand over there once you stand over there waiting to walk in and already hear what's going on, you might be intimidated and walk out.
Yeah. Fair enough.
How about that? Good advice. Good advice.
So good to have you here.
Thanks.
I want to start with this topic. So rumor is you had an issue with this man saying Big Papi is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Would you like to say something to him?
David Ortiz, Big Papi.
I just don't understand. I actually thought that, because I've been on shows and I know for a fact sometimes we need, if it's two people on the show and both of us agree on the subject, the producer may ask us, we need you to disagree just to make it a debate.
We don't roll like that here.
I thought that's what was going on. I was like, I know he cannot actually believe that Papi's not a first. You serious?
See, that doesn't happen here on First Take. We say what we want. Now, I was telling Lil Wayne what I think of him as a rapper before we started this segment.
Thank you.
A lot of rappers who are considered great rappers, they're great lyricists. In fact, to me, it feels like they need to, when they say they get open, it means there's an opportunity for a rhyme, and they do it, and then that starts to influence the story they're going to tell or what they're going to say. Lil Wayne is one of 3 or 4 guys alive today, I believe, where you are the master of the words.
Yeah. But answer his question.
Well, I say you are the master of the words. You don't have to. You say exactly what you want.
Thank you.
But this ain't the studio. This ain't the booth.
Intro.
This is the debate desk, and you got to come harder than that. Lil Wayne, you're talking about. You really believe that? Did you hear my argument? Let me restate it.
I heard your argument.
David Ortiz was a great hitter by any measure. However, there's something called home road splits in baseball. Does your home ballpark affect you positively? The answer was yes.
Yes, it does.
Now, in his case, because he hit at a great hitter's park, people who say, well, that's good for righties, not lefties. In Ortiz's case, I'm telling you, you look at the home road splits, on base and slugging, the significant stats, he's better at home than on the road. Still a great hitter on the road. But as a DH, you need more than that to get into the Hall of Fame. You see, there's something called, I'll tell everyone about baseball a little bit here. I know you're a big sports fan, baseball fan.
Gotcha.
There's a spectrum in baseball from left to right. The hardest positions to play versus the easiest. Catcher on the left, then shortstop, like that. All the way over to first base, or in the American League, DH.
Gotcha.
And the more you are on the left, the less of a bat you need to be good. But the more you are on the right toward DH, the more of a bat you need to be good. And David Ortiz did not hit better than Edgar Martinez, who's not in the Hall of Fame. He did not hit better than Jim Thome, who also played more defense than Ortiz, who he hasn't been up on the ballot yet, but should be in the Hall of Fame before Ortiz. I'm not saying he should never get there, maybe eventually, but he's not a first ballot.
Question. Do you agree when I say David Ortiz is the most clutch hitter of all time?
Of the guys I've seen, he is up there.
Question. Okay. Now, if your position and your job is a DH, that means you come in, they need you to come in to do something. And if you come in, you are the most clutch, and that's your job to come in and spark it up when we need to spark it up, and you are known and we are respecting you as the most clutch. I think you've done your job more than your job.
Well, let me chime in here. Just looking at the numbers, 2-time World Series champion, 10-time All-Star, 286 career batting average, 380 career on base, 2,472 hits, ranks 103 all-time, 541 home runs, 17th all-time, 1,768 RBIs, ranks 22nd all-time, 1,192 extra base hits, 8th all-time, and only the 3rd player in Major League Baseball history with 500 home runs and 600 doubles. The only 2 other people who have ever done it is Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron. Now you go to the ballpark. I'm sitting there going like this. Ain't his fault that he was in Boston. You got a Boston. I mean, can't hold that against him. Not only that, you're acknowledging and admitting that he was clutch. You're acknowledging and admitting that he was great on the road, just greater at home. So if somebody shows up when it counts, no matter where they are,
exactly.
I'm sorry, you put him in there. Now, it ain't his fault that Jim Tomey ain't in there. It ain't his fault that Edgar Martinez ain't in there. Maybe you should put Edgar Martinez in there too. All I'm saying is when his time comes up, there is no question that he is the exception. There is no question that he is the dude that should go in there.
You're missing the point about Fenway Park, which does not surprise me. It's not that it's his fault that he played at Fenway. It means that we still evaluate what he did at every other ballpark. And I'm telling you right now, what he did at every other ballpark as a DH would not be enough to get him in the Hall. But I would say this, his postseason performances, specifically World Series performances, maybe tips the balance, but close. You're referring to a lot of traditional stats that are simply not as important.
But it's not just that.
Simply not as important.
For me, it's clutch, though. I give you those stats because the numbers itself validates it, but your argument in favor of those other things, okay, I'm like, wait a minute. If the man shows up in the clutch,
exactly,
that matters.
Okay, if Bernie Williams isn't in the Hall of Fame.
You said if the numbers doesn't matter, then I know him being to the left of the left and the right of the right, that can't matter neither. Then
why is that?
If the numbers don't matter,
the numbers do matter. I'm saying the numbers do matter. And if you're all the way where he is as a DH, you need ridiculous numbers to get in. Did he get them? Maybe, but not first ballot. Bernie Williams, a center fielder for the Yankees, whose careers overlap with Ortiz, in his prime, according to all the advanced numbers that really tell you how good someone is, was better than Ortiz. Now, he didn't have the longevity, but he was the center fielder and cleanup hitter. But the point is, he's not in the Hall of Fame. This is the way the Hall of Fame works.
That's his problem.
That's the way the Hall of Fame works.
Not always.
The way the Hall of Fame works is you see the standard of other players that were let in. You compare the new player to that standard. That's how it works.
No. You judge the player by what the player does.
Right now.
But he's not playing in a vacuum. You're comparing him to everyone else. It's a Hall of Fame.
Everybody ain't playing for Boston. You taking in the ballpark into consideration. You holding that against him because he's a lefty.
I'm just not giving him super extra credit for it. I'm seeing what he did on the road.
But you acknowledge that he was great when he stepped away from Fenway. Just not as great as at Fenway.
But it wasn't like he fell off a cliff.
It wasn't like he fell off a cliff and he was a scrub somewhere else. Let's go to the Cowboys, man. You don't understand.
I don't understand.
We're just getting started with Little Wayne. Wayne, we need your take on a lot of different subjects. Let's take a quick break. More First Take with Wayne in just a moment. Stay here.
You're watching First Take, presented by Bass Pro Shops.
I tried to put myself, say, in Tony's shoes. I'm sure Tony wants to play. I mean, he doesn't want to get injured. He wants to be productive. But you have to look at the dynamics right now. And they really are hitting on all cylinders. So this is hypothetically thinking. If you're Tony, you say, you know what? As much as I want to play, I don't want to press the issue. I want to play, but I'm going to let it play out right now. And it's probably better if Dak starts struggling and then they bring me in, rather than they put me in and then all of a sudden we're not hitting on all cylinders and everyone's like, they should have got rid of Tony. Blah, blah. I mean, if I'm making sense. So I'm not saying that you tell Garrett or Jerry Jones, look, I don't want to play. I think you want to play, but look, I don't want to mess up the dynamics of the team. If we get to a point where we're struggling, then it's time for me to come in. Now, that's a hard thing to do. I just think you're better if you wait till you're really needed. And I mean, no disrespect whatsoever to Tony.
Little Wayne, I'm watching you smile while you hear that voice. You know, Brett Favre, your former quarterback, see you with the Green Bay.
Yeah.
But before we get to the question, Stephen, did you want to mention something?
I just want to make sure everybody knew. I know David Ortiz is a 3-time World Series champion. I kept saying 2-time. I kept saying 2-time. It's because I want to forget the fact that he got his first beating the Yankees en route to the first title. That's why I wanted to.
That wasn't easy.
But go ahead. Go ahead, man.
You okay with your former quarterback, Brett Favre, saying that about Mr. Romo?
Yeah, I think it was very wise. And everybody's kind of, they like, what's wrong with? They're like, oh, that's not Brett, that's not Brett who you. They think Brett, he said this about Aaron, and that's the Brett that retired but came back, and that's the Brett that would never. It's not my job to help her. That's not that Brett. This is Brett Favre. This is who he is, and this is what he's saying. And let's not worry about who's it coming from, and pay attention to what he's saying. He made sense.
Well, I'm gonna pay attention to who the hell said it.
I'm
not gonna let that go, Lil Wayne. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm just saying, when you were an individual, meaning Brett Favre, when you were that dude that couldn't make up your mind when you wanted to retire, when you wanted to stay home, when you are the dude playing the quarterback position, which we're religiously told, you're not just a football player. I mean, you're the leader of the team. I mean, you're supposed to set the shining example. I mean, if you don't do it right, who else? But you've got to be that leader, the quarterback spot. This dude was nothing but the last 5 years. This dude was a walking prima donna, couldn't make up his mind when he wanted to stay, when he wanted to go, would literally leave teams dangling in the wind. Waiting. 1 year he showed up to camp for Minnesota's last year in August. I mean, he wouldn't make up his mind whether he wanted to play or not until August. Now, I was told and I was taught this does incredible damage to a football team. Oh, but not when it comes to Brett Favre. He's Brett Favre. I mean, did you know that? He threw for 71,000 yards in his career. He threw all of these touchdowns passes. Did you see him jump into the arms of his offensive lineman? Did you see him give them hugs? Did you see how he got tripped up and threw the ball underhanded to a receiver? Oh, look at the little kid in him. He still loves the game. You just love it. Don't you see it? Everybody fawning and drooling all over him. This is that dude. So you got the nerve to open your mouth about Tony Romo? No, Little Wayne, no. I'm not accepting that. I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm saying I don't want to hear that from Brett Favre. Go do your regular Wrangler jeans commercial, okay? Show up when they ask you to. Sit there and take pictures. You understand? Show up to Hall of Fame celebrations and all this. I don't want to hear nothing else from Brett Favre. Please.
Honestly, I think Brett was looking at it like, Tony ain't no Brett.
Thank you.
Tony ain't no Brett. So if Brett was looking at it like, I'm telling y'all what Tony should do.
Try to explain this to
y'all
you.
ain't ask me what I would do and what I should do, because y'all already know what I would do and what I should do. I might not know what I would do till August, but I was talking about till whenever I'm ready. I'm Brett. But Tony y'all asked me what Tony should do, and because he ain't me, he need to let that boy do what he doing.
And what about this? Is Favre telling on himself? Is he saying, look, this is the way, in a way, this is the way I would play it? Of course I want to play, so what I would do is I don't want to start right now, because if we lose, then I'm out. So, hey, Tony, if you want to be slick about it, let the kid keep playing. They're going to hit a rough patch. When they do, boom, you get in there. Is he telling on himself?
I don't think he's telling on himself. I think he's just answering the question, man.
No, you're answering the questions. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm glad you were focused on the message, the only one here. Messenger.
It's so touching. It's so touching. It's so touching.
Let's change
Brett
subjects,
Favre.
can we, Stephen
Brett
A?
Favre, please. Go do your Wrangler commercials.
Wayne,
Go ahead.
let's talk a little NFC East. So you root for Redskins?
No, in football,
Yeah,
just
the Packers? Or
just the
or you like the
Packers.
Redskins in the NFC East? Or is that bad information?
No, that's bad information.
Okay, bad information.
Who do you
So-
like in the NFC East? Do you have a strong opinion about it?
I mean, I believe the Redskins would be a lot better if they located D-Jack more. He's a great receiver, and he's kind of invisible sometimes.
Well, you know what it is? I watched him last week. Deshaun Jackson's who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He was very frustrated. Actually, he was targeted. Kirk Cousins just overthrew him about 3 times.
Exactly.
You know, so this is what you have in the nation's capital, okay? When I look at the NFC East, you know, these folks, they don't get it. They don't get it, Lil Wayne. They don't understand how I'm plotting. Because you do know this about me with the Cowboy fans. I think they're disgusting. I think they're the worst fan base in American history. I can't stand the Cowboy fans. I can't stand them, okay? They make me sick. But I will tell you this.
Shout out, Ant.
Everybody thinks that I want the Cowboys to lose. You know, they don't understand. Go ahead and let them win. Let me get right up there, Max. Let me get right up there to the tip. Let me get right up there. Let me get to the NFC Championship game. Let them have a lead in the fourth quarter. Let them be up by 20 and then blow it. I want an epic failure. That's what I want.
I want to lick the tears off the fans' face. Like
That's what I'm after.
And
that's
the
what
more heartbreaking it is, the sweeter the tears.
And I hope that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys invite me to Texas Stadium, because you know what I'll do? I will party with Cowboy fans for a tailgate party and laugh right in their face when it happens. I would do it. I really would. I'm silly.
Speaking of Deshaun Jackson,
right?
You know how hard it is to overthrow Deshaun Jackson?
Exactly.
How do you overthrow that guy? I mean, the quarterback play in Washington, except for RG3's rookie year, has not been consistently good in how many years?
Well, Kirk Cousins played well last year, but it was against mediocre talent.
Yeah, and it was for a few games. It was some spurts to me. It wasn't, you know, I thought that was what I actually thought was happening was how we blow. When I say we, I mean us, America, how we just blow things up, you know. I might make a shot behind my, Lil Wayne's the best basketball player. You know, just, I think that was happening.
Gotcha.
What he said, you like that or something like that?
You like that?
Yeah.
You like that? That's why the Green Bay Packers ended their season by saying, you like that?
Hey, who you telling? Huh?
The division up for grabs like always, but clearly Carson Wentz and Dak both putting on a show. But let's get your thoughts on the Lakers real quick. First time without Kobe for 20 seasons. What are your expectations?
I don't have any.
Smart.
I don't have any expectations. I'm just gonna watch and enjoy and see what we have, see what we're doing, and I think they should go out there the same way, just have fun and play ball, and then just try to figure something out for the time being. I don't have any expectations. I mean,
let me make news today.
Okay.
I've decided I'm gonna be a little bit nice to Jim Buss this year. Even though I believe that he played a very significant role in ruining this franchise. I've gotten on him enough. And now that they've hired Luke Walton, who I like, who I'm confident will do a good job eventually, I'm going to sit up here and try to give the Los Angeles Lakers a little pass here. I'm hoping. I was just in L.A., you know, a couple of days ago. I did the Jimmy Kimmel show. While I was in L.A., that little buzz, that fever that you felt when Kobe was there, totally gone. It's not there now. Let's see what happens.
Well, I mean, one of the good things about Kobe being so bad the last couple seasons of his career, they extended his contract before he ever showed he could play again. After the Achilles, he was never the same. He had games here and there, but basically was a terrible player, especially for one who touched the ball so much. But the benefit was fans, Lil Wayne and others, want to see Kobe. You got that. Lakers fans got to build through the draft, and now they have an interesting young nucleus and a lot of cap space going forward. Even though I don't love the way they handled it in this offseason, they still have some flexibility going forward.
They already messed up because even though he's a decent player with promise, you don't draft D'Angelo Russell ahead of Jaleel Okafor.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. We got a lot to talk about in the NBA.
Yes, we do. Wayne, appreciate you. Always good to see you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Come back again soon.